the soldiers off the street to help our veterans back into accommodation. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had quite a quiet night last night, to be honest. It was dry. We slept in the bottom of a car park last night. Tonight we're in the doorway of the cathedral in Chester. We've had permission to sleep there.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of sitting around and raising funds and making people aware of what we're doing and why we're doing it, to be honest.
Okay, thank you for what you're doing.
It's not as easy as I thought it would be, to be quite honest. It is quite difficult, and it's just through lack of sleep, really. But it's for a good cause.
It's for a very, very good cause. And again, my thanks and everybody else's thanks to you and your mucker there. Is it Mark?
Mark, yeah.
Yeah, for doing this. I mean, Mark is with Les, ladies and gents. He's a former Welsh guardsman, a veteran himself. And you say you had a quiet night last night.
We've got a Fusilier coming tomorrow who's he lost his leg in Afghanistan, so he's staying out with us for the night as well. And he's coming from Ross-on-Sea tomorrow in his wheelchair.
Okay.
So that's a big thing for him to do, to be honest.
It's going to be a huge thing for him, I am sure. You said you're in a cathedral, the doorway of a cathedral tonight in the centre of Chester. Where will you be tomorrow night? Do you know yet?
Yeah, it's the main cathedral in the city centre. We're in the doorway there tonight.
Yeah, and will you be there tomorrow night as well?
Well, we sort of changed places, to be honest, but I'll let you know tomorrow where we're staying.
Okay, mate.
We don't stay in the same place every night for obvious reasons, and we just let the people know what we're doing, and they give us permission to stay there, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
So we don't know. We literally don't know where we're staying until maybe later on this afternoon. But I'll know tomorrow where we're staying tomorrow night.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that this time tomorrow morning, mate. And I mean, I know the doorways of churches. I didn't get to sleep in a cathedral, but the few times that I did find myself in that situation, unfortunately, I wasn't there for very long. A couple of short periods. There was a particular church in the town of Wellingborough in Northants where I was, and it had a deep doorway. Yeah. It kept me out the rain. I know the floors are hard and very, very cold. And it was close to the town.
As long as you're dry, though, that's the main thing.
That's a big thing. Yes, I do appreciate that. But this was close to the town centre.
We can all handle the cold, but as long as you're dry, it's a big factor.
Yeah.
But these guys, I mean, I'm doing it for a week. Well, we're doing it for a week. But these guys that do it permanently, you know, it's not easy, and it's ridiculous what they've done for the country, and to do it for years is just so wrong. Oh
yeah, to be let down so much by the system. Yeah. It's a national disgrace. I don't think it could be classed as anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably finding, and I know when I've done collections for people like the Royal British Legion and the Army Benevolent Fund, the great British public are great. The support they show is unwavering. It's fantastic. And without that support, the situation, as you and I both know, would be a hell of a lot worse than it is now. So it's not the British public, it's the British governments. This one, the last one, the ones before that, and the ones probably yet to come. It's their fault, it's their failing.
But they don't seem to be doing anything about it. That's the problem. You know, we all have to rely on charities. And, you know, we can't turn to the government. We can't turn around and say, look, I fought for the country in the army. And we have to rely on charities like Soldiers Off the Street.
Yeah.
You know, and it's wrong.
Oh, it totally is wrong. I mean, thank God in all his guises that these charities do exist and they do such fantastic work. But as you've just said, I mean, I'll say it, we didn't sign up to a charity.
No.
We signed up to a government and we offered our lives, our service, our blood, sweat and tears. And unfortunately, in way too many cases, the blood, the tears. And it's that country, it's that government that should be looking after our veterans right now.
Yeah.
Okay then,
do you
mate.
want to chat with Mark?
Yeah, quick chat.
Yeah. Morning.
Good morning, Mark. How you doing, fella?
Not too bad, sir.
A bit stiff?
Say again, sorry?
A bit stiff, sleeping on the floor?
Yeah, it wasn't so bad last night. We were in the underground car park, so it was the warmest night we've had.
Oh, okay. Well, it's nice to know that you can find the odd corner, that is reasonably safe for you as well. Have you had any problems from people at night, maybe jeering, that sort of thing?
The early hours of Saturday morning, Sunday morning, we had a few people coming up to us. So once we explained what we were doing, they're pretty much on side, to be honest. Okay,
but initially they were maybe a little bit merry from the nightclubs or whatever?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, all right. It's glad, though, that you got the chance to explain and, as you say, they were on side then. They were okay with you. You looking forward to this evening or tonight?
Say again, sorry?
Are you looking forward to tonight?
Oh, yeah, of course. Every night's going to be an exciting night.
Yeah. And for the rest of the day, are you just sitting out in the street where people can see you with some sort of banner or placard so they know what's going on?
Yeah, we've got a board with some pictures on and a little collection tub. And people do come up to us and ask what we're doing, which is good. And then it's a good cause, which it is, to be honest.
It is. It totally is. And again, mate, to both yourself and Les, thank you for what you're doing, guys. You deserve all the respect in the world.
No worries.
All right, guys, I'll let you get on with it. I'll talk to you again tomorrow morning. But good luck with it and keep up the good work. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks for that.
All right, cheers, guys. That was my phone switching off. Well, there you had it, guys. Les and Mark sleeping rough on the streets of Chester last night, tonight, the night after, to raise awareness of the plight of some of our armed forces veterans and to raise awareness of the work done by the charity Soldiers Off the Street. Absolutely fantastic what they do. And as was said there by both Les, myself, Mark, it's the system that wants military personnel to be trained and to do the things that they've got to do, the nasty work that most other people wouldn't have an idea of, wouldn't be able to comprehend, but then fail us miserably once it comes to post-service life. Swept under the carpet. The amount of ex-forces personnel living on the street in this country last night, tonight, estimated around 10,000. The numbers of ex-forces personnel in jail last night, tonight, in excess of 8,000. If you could say that about any other employment group, the police, doctors, nurses, teachers, council workers, there will be a hue and cry. There will be a real media storm. But because it's ex-forces personnel supposed to suck it up and get on with it, well, it ain't right. We'll do our best to raise awareness of it here at Veterans Radio Net, and people like Mark, Les, and the others, Mel and Michael on Wednesday night when they sleep on the streets of Paynton for one night to raise awareness. We'll do what we can. I'm going back to the music. Well, this isn't music, this is actually poetry. This is a poem written by one of our buddies, Paul Snow, and this is one of the pieces that will be in the musical, A Song for a Hero. I'll be back shortly, guys. Chat buddies open. Have your say.
Dogs of war, or brothers in arms, young men from cities, the valleys and farms, sworn to the crown and a country's peace, honour, pride and courage, the soldier's creed. The shilling is taken and the deal is struck, this code of honour, this game of luck. Pain's now his friend in so many ways, a soldier's burden for the rest of his days. Why go to war, a war without end? If not our heroes, then who do we send? Sentenced to hell in a war-torn land, dodging the reaper hidden in the sand. But this isn't you, it's from centuries past, from bow and arrow to bullets and gas. But what of the lessons when our heroes return? In a flag-draped coffin, what did we learn? So we begin our journey on neighbouring shores. This one was called the War to End Wars. Trenches were dug and Tommies were slain. The First World War was all done in vain. From the first to the second, and a new kind of hell. A bully's in power, a country has fell. To Europe again they answered the call, young men gathered, all standing tall. On land and at sea the battles are fought, inch by inch their liberties bought. Then came the time of the Battle of Britain, defending our skies, our future was written. The tyrant had fallen and peace was restored. You never know, this could be the war to end wars. And for a while we thought it was true, as our heroes stayed home with nothing to do. But conflict still raged in far distant lands. Korea, South Africa, and then Vietnam. Cyprus and Turkey, and God only knows how the hell we still think we are friends and not foes. But then to the Cold War, political chess. A nuclear stalemate between East and the West. The hammer and sickle would not bend to the star-spangled banner with no means to an end. The fear of destruction would not make them see the horrors of fallout that could so easily be. The end of mankind for a political cause, maybe that would be the war to end wars. But the wait was not long before violence returned, because in '69 innocents burned. In the Emerald Isle the theatre was set, a land full of hatred, fear and regret. The ministers said we'd be home in December. How quick they forget, but how long we remember. We arrived as heroes, but the message got lost, as the price we paid wasn't worth the cost. Bricks and nails and bottles and sticks, with the odd petrol bomb thrown in with the mix. Kids line the streets and shout out abuse. These guns that we brandish are simply no use. A rebel song sang of green, white and gold, of a deep-rooted hatred of young through to old. No matter the threat, they must remain true. They swore their allegiance to red, white and blue. But what was the reason for this civil war? Was it religion or politics, or just hate for the law? Whatever the reason, the blind led the blind, with the politicians and priests all standing behind. But while the war raged within our own land, fate was close by to deal its next hand. Ships and troops were rallied in panic to go fight a war in the South Atlantic. The task force arrived and the job began to liberate our people from an occupied land. But the altar of freedom came at a cost, and once again lives were tragically lost. The desert was next to become the damned as war broke out in the Holy Land. Reactions were quick and the job was done, but yet again many had died at the point of a gun. And then back to Europe, but this time the East, to Bosnia and Kosovo, to ensure there was peace. Still the lessons of history had not been learned, as once again the innocent were banished and burned. Villages and roadsides were full of the dead, as ethnic cleansing stained the government red. But all our heroes could do was watch in vain, as a horror unfolded again and again. Then that was that, and peace was restored. Even in Ireland they were talking once more. Could it be that we were now finding peace? At last all the killing and dying could finally cease. Then all of a sudden Armageddon came, as the Twin Towers fell and war broke out again. But this time they faced a new kind of foe. Back to Iraq and Afghanistan our heroes would go. And there in that land they continue to fight, in a terrorist war with no end in sight. IEDs and ambushes, firefights and mines, and yet again we've ignored the danger signs. But they died for our freedom and our right to live,